You overcomplicate what it means to flirt with a woman. First thing you need to realize is you don't have to be so serious, bro. Tap into your humor. Women love a guy who can make them laugh, right?
The key to flirting as a man is remembering to balance two things. On one hand, you need to show romantic intent so you don't come off as a friend. And on the other hand, you need to not show too much intent so you don't come off as a creep.
I want you to subtly touch them. You really want to use your touch to make the woman that you're talking to feel safe. Say that it's a crowded bar and someone is trying to get past her, you can lightly put your hand on, let me scoot back, small of her back or her side to kind of pull her in a little bit. If there's someone coming behind her that is going to bump into her, just gently give her a little bit of a pull like this, a little bit, so like squeeze her in behind you and almost like as a sense of protection.
Hi there. Today we're diving into a full compilation of flirting techniques. Some subtle, some bold, and some surprisingly effective. Get ready, because what you're about to see is not just entertaining, it's packed with insight.
Or you could say something like, "You have such a warm personality. I'm assuming you're the friend that everyone goes to for advice." The reason these work so exceptionally well is because let's say your assumption is correct. You just gave her the best compliment she's gotten all day. And if your assumption isn't correct, you just made this a very intriguing conversation because now she's wondering what made you think that about her.
Before you say a word, your body speaks. The way you stand, move, and make eye contact sets the tone. If you're relaxed and present, it creates comfort. If you're stiff or distracted, it creates distance.
Then ask her name, and this is when you guys can get into small talk. Ask where she's from, she can get to know where you're from, why you guys are there, who you're with. Just remember, don't overthink this. Just start the conversation.
Guys do make the first move, they're scared of being Me Too'd. Girls are scared of being approached by guys that they don't know, but also still know that they need the guys to make the first move 86% of the time because that's the percentage. I was like, isn't that fucking interesting?
Here's an example. Let's say you see a cute girl at a party who's wearing a tight black dress and you want to approach her. If you go up to her and say something like, "Damn, that dress looks like it's painted on," you're obviously giving creep. If you go up to her and you say something like, "Hi, it's nice to meet you. How's your night going?" You actually are giving friend unless you find a way to show intent early in the conversation. But if you say something like, "Hey, I noticed you from across the room and wanted to come introduce myself," you're in the Goldilocks zone and you're showing just the right amount of romantic intent.
Try to relax and just have a normal conversation and just listen to the actual thing that they're saying instead of trying to plan what you're going to say next, so then you can just naturally respond. This will take a lot of the pressure off the situation, so you don't have to put this pressure on yourself to keep the conversation going because it will naturally be going if you are just being present and listening.
Playful lines like "you look like trouble" can be fun, but only if they feel spontaneous. If it sounds rehearsed or out of place, it loses impact. What matters is the delivery and the energy behind it.
An easy flirting technique you can use is to assume that the girl is into you, okay? Assume that there's attraction, assume she misses you or missed you. It's gonna make it less logical and more emotional, and that's how you're gonna get the girl.
Flirting only works if you get an investment. If they're not invested in you in the conversation, you can say whatever and they will be like, okay, bye.
Is you tell her that she's charming and tell her why. Give her a reason. Her wit, her intelligence, her sense of humor. What's creepy is to just tell a woman that she's hot or that you like a certain body part.
Eye contact and have a little bit of a look, a soft smile. So if when they're talking, you can keep your face like this, acknowledging that you're listening to what they're saying.
On my first date with my girlfriend Jess, I said, "You know what's really charming about you? You're so quick-witted. It's so charming." And it went great.
This was my move. You don't have to say anything flirty. You can literally just be like, "Excuse me," and like just make your way by.
Oh fuck.
Confidence is attractive, but vulnerability is powerful. When a guy admits he's nervous or unsure, it shows authenticity. That kind of honesty builds trust and makes the interaction feel real.
You don't have to be good looking to seduce. That's a myth. Some of the greatest seducers, male and female, were not good looking at all. It's about psychology and it's about how you carry yourself. What makes for a great seducer is very simple. I can summarize it very simply. You are outer directed. When you meet somebody for the first time or you're on a date or whatever, you're not having that internal monologue going, does she like me or does he like me? Am I dressed well? Am I saying stupid things? What can I do to impress them? No. Turn it off and you're outer directed and you're listening to them and you're entering their spirit and you're hearing them say things that give you idea of what they're missing in life.
Excuse me, hand on lower back. I'm just going to scoot by your leg. And then eye contact, hold for a second longer than you probably should have. And then just keep moving. And then just check in with your eyes across the room for the rest of the night.
Tips for men. After you've already made the approach and you are talking to a girl at a bar. Tips for guys are really similar to women, but instead of having that underlying softness that we really want a woman to have when they're flirting with someone, you need to have more of a confidence. Just a quiet confidence, not cockiness. And what that comes down to can just be the look on your face.
Another way to flirt is just by disagreeing with a woman, adding her emotion, inserting her emotion into the conversation. I don't care what she tells you that she likes or does, just look at her like she's crazy.
Is tease her the right way. Here's the wrong way to tease a woman. It's creepy to tease her about something she could get offended by, like how much she's drinking or her weight or appearance. No bueno. The right way to tease a woman is make it about something surface level. If her favorite movie is cheesy, or her first concert ever was Nickelback, tease her for that. That's not going to be something she could get offended by.
This is a flirting technique that will get you the girl every time. But I'm warning you, only use this tactic on the girls that you're actually interested in because it will result in you landing a date with her.
Show her your intent, because what'll happen is, since she knows that you're interested in her to some degree, she now has a choice right then and there to continue to entertain you in that direction or to flat out show you that she's really not interested in you.
A light touch can say a lot, but only if it matches the vibe. If you're calm and confident, it feels natural. If you hesitate or second guess, it can throw everything off.
Women want men to flirt with them, and if you're struggling with that, it's because of this one specific thing. You see, most men lead with friendship when it's a woman that they're interested in because it feels safe. There's no risk involved. And when it's time to flirt, they don't even know how to flirt correctly. But here's the truth. If you can't flirt with a woman, you're going to wonder why you could get into conversations with women, but it just does not go anywhere. So if you want to make sure that women know your intent and they also know that you're not afraid to go and speak with them in a way that's going to emotionally stimulate them, here's what you need to do to fix it. You need to realize that flirting does not have to come from a place of kindness. When you think of flirting, you probably think of, let me shower this woman with compliments. Let me shower this woman with gifts. But when you mix it up with some sort of playful teasing or disagreeing with her on a specific topic in a playful way, telling her that things were going great until she just told you that one thing and now you can't talk to her anymore.
Flirting tips for shy guys. You don't need to be loud or outspoken to flirt with pretty women. In fact, some of the sexiest guys maintain that level of mystery that women crave. So the first one, reframe this limiting belief. Quiet guys may not be the best talkers, but they are excellent listeners.
If you want to really get a girl's attention, then you need to learn this skill. It's using assumptive language. And all that is making a flirty guess about her. This can sound like, you have really good style. I'm guessing you're into fashion. Or you could say something like, you have such a warm personality. I'm assuming you're the friend that everyone goes to for advice.
When you speak with intention, it creates tension in a good way. We notice when you're focused, when you're present, and when you're not just filling space with words.
Light touch when talking. Okay, so you guys are talking and maybe you say something, you exclaim something, a light touch on her shoulder, on her elbow, that's gonna get good physical flirt.
Another way you can subtly touch is by just touching the edge of her elbow right here. Maybe it's loud and you want to hear something that she says. So touch the corner of her elbow like this, lean your head in to hear, listen to what she says, and then look back at her in her face and respond.
After rapport is built, enter her space more. So after you guys are talking and in conversation, start to close the space between you and her so you create this bubble around you two.
Eye contact is underrated. If you hold it just long enough to make us curious, it creates a spark. But if you look away too fast, it feels like you're hiding something.
Third tip is just by teasing her. Even if she's asking you questions, don't tell her everything about yourself. You know, I can't tell you all my secrets. You're just gonna have to come find out more for yourself. Let her know that the more time she spends with you, the more she's gonna find out about you.
I fully disagree with her. For example, if she says that she likes pineapple on her pizza, you can say something like, not the one thing that never belongs on pizza. Looks like we're just always going to have to order 2 pizzas.
The real magic happens when you do both back to back. Here's how. First, you're gonna pull her in and say, hey, I like your vibe. You seem really fun. Let her smile, feel good, and then immediately push her away while saying, but I don't know if we get along. You look like trouble. Now she's saying, but what if she says, what do you mean trouble? Perfect. Now drag it out and say, I don't know. I feel like you convinced me to do something reckless and then blame me for it. Now she's playing along. It's not about what you say. It's about keeping her emotionally engaged.
Give her a nickname. For example, if she says something super smart, you can say something like, hey, smarty pants, I didn't know that I was on a date with Albert Einstein. B. Challenge her in a flirty way. If she says she's really good at something or that she can beat you at something, you can say, oh, I'll believe it when I see it, which then also opens up the floor for another date idea.
Tell her she might deserve a date if she just so happens to be able to beat you at one of your favorite games. The key is being polarizing and challenging, and if you can't do those 2 things, you're leaving so much attraction on the table.
Guys, if there's one flirting technique you need to master, it's this. I see so many guys when they flirt with me start off strong, right? They're making me laugh, flirty banter. But what always ends up happening is they start doing this one thing that completely turns me off. They read my signals and started to become thirsty, not flirting. There's only one technique to get you out of this, and it's push-pull.
So you and I, if we were married, for example, okay? If you and I were married, I would want to give you what you need.
That's called future pacing. Brad Pitt isn't just flirting with her in a very boring way. No. He's not doing anything like that. In fact, what he's doing is very clever. He's making her imagine a shared point in the future. In the future. Psychologists say that when you plant a scenario in someone's mind, they can't help but look at it as if it's real.
The way you say something matters more than the words. A simple "you seem interesting" can hit deep if your tone is calm and your energy is grounded.
Light touch when talking. Okay, so you guys are talking and maybe you say something, you exclaim something, a light touch on her shoulder, on her elbow. That's going to get good physical flirting going. Number 4, after rapport is built, enter her space more. So after you guys are talking and in conversation, start to close the space between you and her so you create this bubble around you two.
You don't have to be Brad Pitt. Instead of the usual boring small talk, what do you do for work? What do you like to do for fun? Imagine a hypothetical scenario and discuss it with her. Such as, hey, let's pretend you and I were on a road trip. What would be the very, very first song that we would blast? Hypothetical scenarios aren't just fun, they build chemistry fast.
Here's how to flirt with literally any girl, guaranteed. It's called magnifying. Magnifying is a technique I created and use all the time in order to maintain and create interesting conversations between me and a girl I'm romantically interested in. Basically, what you're gonna do is magnify or exaggerate whatever it is she says into something that's funny, ridiculous, and most importantly, playful. This is perfect for creating a playful and flirty vibe with the girl so that she'll be more open and interested in talking to you. The beauty of magnifying is that you can also practice it in guys as well as girls. Now when you use it on guys, it'll make you seem a lot funnier and charismatic. If you really want to get good at this trick, I recommend practicing it on everyone you talk to. Here's a basic example of what magnifying is. Let's say a girl tells you that she likes going to the gym. One way you could magnify this is by saying something like, oh, does that mean you have bigger muscles than me? Or, oh, does that mean you can squat more than me? It's a simple way to make a conversation more playful and more emotionally charged, and it gives you more ammunition to make a conversation more romantic or sexual.
Confidence isn't about being loud or dominant. It's about being clear. If you know what you want and you show it without hesitation, that's attractive.
Want to make conversation addictive? Do this. Most guys will either compliment her too much or tease her too hard, and that kills attraction. But
if you want to know the best secret to flirting with women effortlessly, then remember that it is all about balance. It's balancing a little bit of light teasing with genuine interactions. It's about balancing compliments with good conversation. It's about a little bit of that self-deprecating humor, but also demonstrating your self-esteem. Because if you tease too much, you're an asshole. and
sitting there hoping I seen her again or wishing I would have said something. What I'm saying is important, but how I'm saying it is setting the vibe for the conversation. So now that you know this, have you been flirting the right way?
This looks like slowing down the way you speak, slowing down your gestures, and slowing down the conversation you're having. Because if you're not confident when you're talking to somebody that you're interested in, your initial reaction is going to be to speed everything up. But if you can get into the simple practice of slowing everything down, you will create space, and more importantly, you will create tension, which is the only thing you need to turn a regular conversation into a flirty one.
And if you aren't playful at all, then you're boring. And if you knock yourself down too much, then you stay down. So remember that when you want to flirt with women, remember to have good balance. Good luck.
What up?
Hey!
What's going on?
Where'd you go?
Oh, I was just like right over there by my friends, like just hanging out, like just catching up, you know?
Oh, okay.
Why?
Nothing. Just
Oh,
wondering.
okay. Yeah, how were you? What were you doing?
Where'd you go?
What do you mean? You missed me or?
You wish.
Look, if you missed me, you can just tell me. It's all good.
Don't know how to escalate flirtation with that girl? Let me teach you how. There are two things to keep in mind when it comes to escalation. They are logistics and touch. The one mistake that I see guys make far too often is not thinking out the logistics before you actually meet with her. So you can show her something on your phone, so then it'll give you an excuse to draw her in closer as you guys can make connection over whatever it is you're showing.
Playful tension is key. If you tease just a little or challenge us in a subtle way, it creates chemistry. But it has to feel natural, not like you're trying to perform.
The number one flirty thing you can say to a girl is just 2 words. When men come into our coaching program, they have no idea how easy flirting can be. Sometimes it's just a matter of a little bit of a look and just saying a little phrase, and she will, boom, get it right away, especially with really good eye contact. So when you meet a girl, you start to flirt a little bit, you're gonna look her in the eyes and you're gonna say, you know what? You're trouble.
Gentlemen, stop flirting with your mouth and start flirting with your eyes. Let me give you a little scenario. Within 5 minutes, a woman knows she wants to sleep with you. That's only 5 minutes. After that, she's either gonna like you more or she's gonna like you less, and mostly because what's coming out of your mouth.
This is the #1 flirting technique that will literally make women so attracted to you. And if you're the type of guy who freezes when he sees an attractive woman, you might want to hit that follow button so that you can see more videos like this. The best part about this technique is that you don't have to be the most charming guy in the room to nail it, because all it is slowing everything down.
So go over, talk to her, say, hi, my name is such and such. Who are you? Stop right there and just listen. That's it. Look at both eyes. Don't stare. Don't be creepy. Look at her mouth a couple times too. That always helps. Eyes, mouth, Works really well. Don't talk.
Hey, Lisa.
Her name's not Lisa.
I know. But if every time I say, hey Lisa, then eventually she'll come up to me and she'll be like, you know, my name's not Lisa, it's Jennifer, or whatever. And I'll do a big apology. And I'll say, I thought you were the Lisa who was mad at me for not calling. And then from then on, Jennifer, or whatever her name is, will think that I dated a girl who looked just like her, who I rejected. She'll develop this unconscious need to win my approval, and from then on, it's a cake.
One of my favorite things to do is to walk up to a woman. Excuse me, I don't want anything from you, but I just wanted you to know that you look really pretty today. Have a good day. And just walk the f*** away. That's good for practice, but it's so good for your soul, man. Just to give somebody a f***ing compliment. If something bad's going on or whatever, I start complimenting people immediately. And for whatever reason, it like charges my soul.
This is psychologically proven to make other people instantly like you when you propose the idea that you and them will most likely never end up together or have the possibility to be together. This is called the forbidden fruit effect. where we essentially want other people that are unachievable and uninterested in us. If you ever wondered why you have liked so many people in the past, even though you had no idea what they're genuinely like, this is because they have shown to you that they are unattainable, and so they seem much more special than they are. So the next time that you are in conversation with this person, I want you to simply allude or directly tell them, yeah, I honestly only see you as a brother or a sister or a friend, and see their whole demeanor change, because we assume that they will no longer be interested in us, when in reality they are now going to try to make it seem like they are a dateable person. And the more they extend their arm out and try to prove to you that they are worthy, the more they're gonna realize, oh my gosh, I may really like this girl or person, otherwise I would have never tried this hard to make them like me. And you, my friend, are in.
Sometimes the best flirt is just being curious. Asking something unexpected, reacting genuinely, and letting the moment unfold without rushing it.
There is nothing to get nervous about. Going and approaching a girl is a complete win-win situation. There is nothing at risk, and this is what guys don't seem to understand. There is completely nothing at risk. You are going with nothing, and the worst case scenario is her rejecting you, and the solution of that is you walking away with exactly the same thing as you went with, apart from maybe an improved resilience, more confidence to do it again. I always tell the guys, if you really want to be confident, you have to put yourself in vulnerable situations. That's when you grow the most as a man.
How to flirt and build sexual tension. So a lot of guys know that they need to flirt, but a lot of guys do not know how to flirt. And another thing that you guys don't understand is that when you flirt with a girl, you need to build sexual tension, okay? You need to be building sexual tension. The way that you do this is first, the way that you're talking to the girl. So you cannot talk to women in the same tone of voice that you would your homeboys or when you on the game playing Fortnite or 2K, okay? That shit gotta go. When you're talking to a woman, you wanna have a lower type of tonality, a seductive type of voice, and making sure that you're making eye contact.
These thoughts just don't have to be about how pretty she is. She could have some bags in her hand or walking the dog. There's always something that you could talk about. And even if you really can't think of anything, you can still use that to your advantage. This is the time to be direct and tell her what you want. For example, excuse me, I thought you was very pretty and just wanted to introduce myself. What's your name? What also helps is really taking the time to process how you feel. And because genuine compliments get you further than anything, you leaving a thoughtful comment like, excuse me, I didn't mean to bother you, but I would have been thinking about you all day if I didn't come say anything to you. I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Vaughn. Who are you? All I did was tell the truth. If I didn't approach her, I would have been thinking about fine shit that I seen at Target the other day.
Not mean you turn into a damn staring contest like a fucking weirdo. I gotta say that because some of you niggas is crazy. But you want to keep eye contact. This is gonna show the confidence and making sure that your voice is low and make sure you're talking at a slow and steady pace for you. Whatever's comfortable for you, you just want to make sure you're not coming across nervous.
The second way is touch. So you can use your conversation, and every time there's a natural spike, so if you're making her laugh or telling a story, you can lightly touch or tap her. Don't linger. Be sure to then draw back so it doesn't seem like you're just gonna be hovering on her the rest of the night. But if she's too far away, create an opportunity where you can sit next to her. Therefore, you can have your knee slightly touch hers, and if she maintains her knee to contact with yours, that's a good sign.
Always show the women you're interested in flirtatious energy. I see a lot of guys that are comfortable with talking to women. That's not the issue. But it never goes anywhere and they don't realize why. You see, talking to a woman is half the battle. But when you're talking to her, what is your vibe like? What is the purpose of the conversation that you're having with her? A lot of you guys, you're cool with the small talk. It's almost like you guys are co-workers conversating at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. Her emotions were never inserted into the conversation, so in her mind, it's extremely platonic and it's boring. And if you continue to do this with a woman and you show her that this is your vibe, you're going to get friend zoned. You're going to get put in the he's not my type category right off the bat. So to avoid this, be a little risky, be a little flirtatious. She should know by talking to you that you have some level of interest in her.
86% of women say they want a man to make the first move. A different study said that 50% of men say that they're afraid of making the first move for being seen as creepy.
Push-pull is nothing more than toggling between friend-zoning her and flirting with her. So you push forward subtle flirty hints, but then you pull back. Seesaw flirtation and start friend-zoning her. This sub communicates that if she wants you, she's gonna have to try for you. And if you think this is meant to be some backward-ass, disingenuous game, it's not. This is designed to protect you from coming off too needy to a girl that you had only just met. By pulling back, it's gonna give her the opportunity to show you her signals. You can't be doing everything. Give her the gift of the chase.
If you want to be an expert at flirting, All you have to do is let the other person know that you two will probably never end up together.
We notice when you're tuned in. If you react to our expressions, our tone, our energy, it shows you're present. That's what makes flirting feel real.
You can now ask her out on a date that puts those skills to the test. And number 4, use fake compliments. For example, when she's looking so good, maybe the best you've ever seen her look, you can throw in a funny compliment like, wow, you almost look as good as me right now. Of course, only say that as a complete joke, and then follow it up with a little wink and say, I'm kidding, you look beautiful.
So maybe we just shut that mouth and we flirt with our eyes. The only reason I tell you this is because I've spent many a year at a bar watching men fail miserably, and it has a lot to do with what's coming out of their mouths. So the scenario goes like this. You're looking across her room, you see her, she glances your way, you're like, ooh, she's interested. You do not stare, right? That's creepy. But you kind of glance back, you glance away, you glance again. Do not look at her tits, look at her eyes. That's another flaw. I've done it myself many a times. It's hard with practice. All you have to do, keep looking at her eyes. She's gonna look at your eyes too, because she's probably looking to see if you're looking at her tits. So you catch a couple glances and you kind of pick up a vibe. This is when your instincts kick in. You're like, I think she likes me. And if those instincts are kicking in, probably likely she does.
I don't know if women have any idea how paralyzing they are to, especially young men. A very large number of my clinical clients, but also young men I've talked to in general, are absolutely terrified of women because they're terrified of being rejected. And the terror exists in precise proportion to the attraction to the woman, which is a horrible paradoxical situation to be in. And then it's only in establishing the relationship with the actual woman that they can start differentiating between the judgmental ideal and the actual individual woman. And that also requires a sacrifice. And the sacrifice is, you never can have an ideal woman.
If you want to make women blush when they talk to you, listen up. Flirting is a playful vibe. It's meant for you to have fun, and you must have the intention to be creative. How can you use what she said to make her smile or laugh? What did you notice about her that could make her smile or laugh? But being creative isn't even the most important part here. It's actually the tone that you're saying it in. In my ebook, I break down the importance of tone of voice and how you can master it. But the combination of creativity mixed with the proper tone, people can't help but to smile or laugh because you sound so witty. Or in other words, you're just quick on your feet. Now, how you can become quick on your feet is simply experience. Once you get experience, you'll start to hear the same responses. This is why smooth people always appear so smooth.
The next thing is that you're gonna have to make some sort of sexual comments, okay? So let's say you're talking to a girl and she has some lip gloss on. A dude that's flirting with a girl, you can look at her lips and be like, dang, you put some lip gloss on for me? I like that. You see what I'm saying? That in itself is flirting. You can be like, yeah, you got some nice lips. I bet you a good kisser, huh? That's sexual. That's talking about intimacy related things. And it's also still bold, but you're not asking her to do nothing. You're not saying you're going to kiss her. You're putting yourself out there to see how the woman responds. And based off her response, it lets you know if you can go further and if she's interested in you sexually. That's the whole purpose of flirting. And it's also going to be building the sexual tension starting early so that by the time you get to the bedroom, you already got her mind so worked up and thinking about you that she already hot and bothered and things go down a lot smoother.
It's like they always know what to say, but in reality, they've just been there before, and they're more prepared than the average person. Now, when it comes to being creative, you can't be afraid to say what comes to your mind. That's step one. Guys who get the women they want say the things they want. Step two is to actually pay attention to what you want. This is also a skill that can be learned. If you think a girl is pretty, figure out what it is that attracted you to her. Was it her outfit? Was it her eyes? Pay attention because these are called thoughts. Thoughts are something that come to us that are out of our control. But
one of my favorite go-to lines, she's testing you, she's throwing out like a little jab or a tease or something like this, has always been, clearly your last boyfriend didn't spank you enough. And that always seems to go down extremely well.
I'm blushing just thinking about it.
Example, and it's a coffee date, know that there's not really too many opportunities to build that sexual tension, especially if it's during the daytime. So to go along with that coffee date example, choose a place that has a park or somewhere where you two can walk to after the date. This will create that opportunity for you to then escalate flirtation afterwards.
It's often why men make such fools of themselves in front of women that they're attracted to. It's because, first of all, they don't see the woman that they're attracted to. Because what the hell do they know about her? They don't see her as an individual. They see her as the manifestation of a judgmental ideal.
Listen to what the girl is saying and then literally ask follow-up questions like, oh, what? No way. How come that happened? Oh my god, why? If she's comfortable, she'll expand more. And at this point, you'll know if you have enough in common with this girl. If you don't, probably not the right girl for you. And if you do, this is where you tell her about your interests and your own personal stories. And if you have the same hobbies, this is where you can be playful and sarcastic and competitive, and could very easily segue into a date.
Lean into this strength. Active listeners make for great conversationalists. So listen for lead words of what she's saying, comment on the subject, riff, before you ask another question.
Oh, no. I don't even think we can talk anymore if that's how you feel about that. And while you're calling her crazy about whatever she likes, give her a nickname that's attached to what she said she likes.
Flirting tips for shy guys. You don't need to be loud or outspoken to flirt with pretty women. In fact, some of the sexiest guys maintain that level of mystery that women crave. So the first one, reframe this limiting belief. Quiet guys may not be the best talkers, but they are excellent listeners. Lean into this strength. Active listeners make for great conversationalists. So listen for lead words of what she's saying, comment on the subject, riff, before you ask another question. 2, the most successful shy guys have style. Up your fashion game by including staple pieces and accessorizing your look. This will increase the likelihood that she'll open you with a compliment.
You want to touch her the right way. Here's the wrong, creepy way to do it. What the pickup artist guys tell you. Break the touch barrier. Just touch her in some way to show her that you're a man. BS. You want to touch her with charm. Here's how you do it. Have a reason for the touch. For example, maybe on the first date, you take her hand for a couple seconds and you say, "Oh, this is a cool ring. What's the story here?" Or "Where'd you get that bracelet?" And then give her her hand back. Having a reason for the touch tells her that you're confident enough to touch her, but also you're a gentleman and you're not just going to creepily put your hand on her and leave it there.
Increase your social circle by including more extroverted wingmen and wingwomen. Not only will this help you meet more women, but being around more extroverted people will positively influence your banter and storytelling.
Here's a simple opener for when you meet a girl at a bar or a club. You're simply gonna walk up to her and say, "Hey, I don't think we've met yet." She's probably gonna say, "No, I don't think we have." And that is when you get the chance to introduce yourself.
If you suck at flirting, then this video is for you. Here are the best ways on how to flirt with somebody. And you already know I'm going to include situations and examples for you. Okay, number 1, if there is an awkward tension or silence, but you kind of feel some spicy tension rising, you're going to look at the person and you're going to say, "Do I make you nervous?" What in the actual Wattpad? I love that line. It works every time.
But when you get investment, now you have the back and forth. The example that I use is like, if you're walking down the street and a bum is like, "Oh, you're bald and ugly," you'd be like, "You're weird, okay, whatever." But now that we have investment in our relationship here, I could say, "That looks like the Hispanic Mr. Clean."
Oh, this is such an easy way to banter with somebody, but if the girl or guy you're talking to says something like, "You're being so difficult," or "You're being annoying," you're going to say, "So do something about it." Is it hot in here or is it just me? But if you can sense something is about to happen, like a kiss or something, or the other person is like teasing you, you're going to say, "If you want me, all you have to do is ask." Okay, I'm gonna pass away right now. This is how to talk to a girl, and trust me, you will not run out of things to say. It's literally so simple, so many of you are just completely overthinking it. First thing you're gonna do is get her to give you a little story time. Obviously introduce yourself first and get a little back and forth going, but it's literally as simple as saying, "So tell me about yourself." She'll probably reply, "What do you want to know?" To which you say anything and everything. It is literally proven that the easiest way to get someone to like you is to let them talk about themselves. Cause then automatically they're gonna think you're a great listener. Which you actually need to do, by the way. Obviously by now you should know a fair amount about her. So pick a question, any question, and just make sure it's open-ended. Basically just a question that doesn't require a yes or no answer. Otherwise, you run the risk of this conversation transcending death and moving into the afterlife where she continues to ghost your ass for all eternity. Let her talk about herself, ask questions, and listen. It's that simple.
So just a very subtle touch. Use it as a form of protection and kind of show that provider energy. Another great way is if you've offered to buy her a drink at the bar and you're kind of leading the way. If you say to her,
I'm gonna go grab a drink at the bar. Do you want anything? And she says yes. Be like, okay, great. And then she'll turn towards the bar. Again, you want to put your hand very, very softly, nothing too aggressive, on the small of her back and just kind of guide her through the bar, almost like you're protecting her as you guys are going to the bar together.
So you have a world in which women are scared of being approached, men are scared of doing the approaching, people will judge many men, at least 1 in 5 men that do that, as being harassers, but everybody understands that if the guys don't make the first move, nothing's going to happen.
So what did you think? I hope this compilation gave you something to reflect on or try out. If it felt like a gem, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. There's a lot more coming.